Hello, welcome to another tutorial. We're going to talk about how to import a mesh from Blender to UE4. This is the Through the Eyes of an Engineer series. Now, before we import our mesh from Blender, there are a couple things we need to understand. In UE4, the forward direction is defined to be along the x-axis. So no matter which direction the x-axis is, that's the forward direction. And we're going to assume that up is looking up, of course. Now in Blender, assume these are our direction. Of course, it depends on which angle we're looking at our coordinates. In this case, X is this guy, the red guy. This side over here is the Y, and up is Z. Now in UE4, it will be something like this. How do we get here? Well, first we have to do a rotation around the y-axis to get this guy in the middle, and then rotate along the new z-axis to arrive to Unreal Engine 4. So in summary, our forward direction becomes the minus z, and the up direction becomes the y. That's the first thing we need to understand. It's very important. Another thing, if you want all the rotations in UE4 to be proper around the origin, you have to make sure to transform your mesh, orient your mesh in Blender so that the direction you want it to be forward is along the x-axis, not looking into it, it's looking through it. Then transfer the origin to geometry, move the origin to the global world origin, and you have to apply the rotation, and then you can export your mesh. Let's do that with the Steam controller. If you access this folder in wherever you installed your Steam, you will find that you do have an object for the controller. So we'll go ahead with the exercise. I have Blender opened, so I'm going to open I put it under Program Files. Let's find it. I think it's Steam. Steam Apps, Common, Steam VR, Resources, Render Models, and you'll see here there is Vive controller. I did a mistake. It will try to open a Blender file. We have to actually import, and I believe it's 3ds or object. Let's go with the object. Yeah, it is an object actually. So you see this VR controller Vive. This is what we want. These are specific parts of the controller. So let's go ahead and open that. Now you may not see it. That's because it's that little thing over here. So I'm gonna delete the box. Right click on my controller, push S to scale, and type 10. So notice how it's aligned with the y-axis. We don't want that. We want it to align with the x-axis. So I'm gonna hit R on the keyboard, and if you make a mistake at any time, you can push escape and then Control Z if it actually went through. So I don't want, for example, to do any form of this rotation. So I hit escape. I'm gonna push R and Z 90 degrees. Actually escape. I want R, Z minus 90 degrees. So now you see that the controller is facing the X direction. So we have to move this to the origin. Let's see. if you push N on the keyboard, it opens this transform menu. You can do your rotations here if you want also. So I'm gonna move this guy to the origin. So 0, 0, 0. That's my location. That's very important. Now you see that this one is assumed to be rotated because we actually rotated this guy. So if I right click on it and push Control A and I apply location, Control A, rotation, notice that when we apply rotation, these guys go to 0. And I can also apply, see the scale, it's 10 because I scaled it by 10. I can apply scale, and now this is the standard position and the standard scale for this controller. So I go to File, Export, FBX, and I want forward to be -Z, and I want up to be Y, and I only want the mesh. So I hold Shift and I click on these buttons, and let's save it somewhere. Say I'm gonna put it on my D drive, maybe under new folder, or let's just put it here under, where am I? Let's put it under work, and I'm gonna call this UE4 controller.fbx. Now there's two options here, binary and ASCII. If one time for some reason in older versions the binary did not work, I had to go with the ASCII and that worked. So I'm gonna go ahead with the binary now and see what happens. So I'm gonna export that, and I'm gonna go to Unreal, and of course crashed. Whoa. Let's start that again. Okay, I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm gonna pause it. All right, I successfully opened my project. So I'm gonna hit import and navigate to there. There you go. And when you do that, make sure that skeletal mesh is not checked. And in this case, it's a controller. If I will not be using that for collision, I can uncheck. Or if I want to interact with the controller, like if you want to touch on things, you can enable this guy. We have no materials assigned from Blender, but that's okay. And we can also do some translation here. So if you want to apply the scale here, you can do these type of rotations if you do not export with forward Z and up Y. So I'm gonna import all. Yeah, it will tell you something. So this is the controller now imported. If I create a new blueprint, it's pawn, for example. I'm gonna call that UE controller, and I'll add a static mesh. This is a static mesh, and I can select my UE4 controller, and as you can see, it's facing forward. Thank you for watching.